Bonsoir à tous et bienvenue pour le 32e live sur Baldur's Gate 3. Bonsoir aux moustoirs, est-ce que vous avez passé une bonne journée? Précédemment, qu'est-ce qu'on a fait? On a accompagné une étrange créature, mi-homme, mi-araignée, qui a accompagné une expédition pour arriver à une sorte de forteresse à travers les ombres. On a rencontré des PNJ un petit peu bizarres. Ah, et non, le micro, il est allumé, le micro, je vais vérifier, mais normalement, ça doit fonctionner. Non, non, ça fonctionne bien, Moustoir, donc le problème est du côté de votre côté. Et il n'est pas ici, en tout cas. Mais merci quand même pour l'attention. Alors, on a encore de la nourriture un peu périmée, voire complètement pourrite. Il a l'air bizarre, lui.
She sees everything we are. Do you understand? There is no hiding from her.
Ah si, point important, on a fait un pacte avec une démon qui nous a demandé de libérer quelqu'un. Alors Moustoir, est-ce que le son du micro fonctionne? Parce que là, non, ça fonctionne bien. Et oui, ça fonctionne. J'ai la, j'ai la vérification. Alors. Ok, là, qu'est-ce qu'on peut plier? Oh, bah tant mieux. Non, ça a déjà été fait. Ah bah voilà. Est-ce que vous avez passé une bonne journée? Super. Ouh, on va sauvegarder peut-être. Trop tard.
Followed every order.
The facts suggest otherwise. You were ordered to retrieve the artifact. You failed to do so.
Us? No, it was Minfara. She got the orders. She...
Enough!
A blast of mental energy washes over you, filling the room. Your tadpole squirms, urging you to obey.
You failed to retrieve the artifact. You failed to protect your true soul. You do not deserve to live.
Alors, là, je sais pas. On va sauvegarder. Je sais pas si c'est une bonne idée de les massacrer.
A new true soul come to share their wisdom.
We did as we were told. We're loyal to the Absolute. Tell him!
Silence!
True soul, you have seen these goblins at work, have you not? What say you?
Ils sont fidèles envers l'absolu. Il faut leur reconnaître ça. Inutile de perdre votre temps avec eux, tuez-les. Ils sont sans intérêt. La mort est probablement trop douce pour eux, encore mieux.
See? What I tell ya? Praise the Absolute.
Faith without action is anemic, sickly, in a word, useless. We are too close to the ending and the new beginning. I can coddle failure no longer. Kill them, quickly.
What? No!
You creaking old bag of shit!
my lord. She's an unbeliever outside my control.
Try again. Dispose of the rest as you see fit. Or better yet, put that true soul to use. You have far more important matters to attend to. Or have you forgotten?
Of course not, my lord. Thank you. You heard the General. The goblins are yours. Deal with them however you wish. They are yours. You can release them, kill them, or feed them to each other for all I care. Just deal with them. Here in the seat of the Absolute's power, your authority over them is complete. They will obey any command. Report to me upstairs when you're done.
Please! You gotta help me! For old time's sake!
Je veux voir vos viscères se répandre sur le sol. C'est un petit peu quand même un peu brutal, hein. Plus un mot, en fait, je ne veux plus vous entendre respirer. Là aussi, crève. Je vous donne votre chance, affrontez-moi. Soit vous mourrez et ça sera réglé, soit vous me tuerez et vous pourrez partir. Garde, libérez-les. J'ai pas envie de les massacrer là comme ça.
Oh, praise the Absolute! And praise her true soul!
Your merciful streak will be the death of us one day. Let's hope Zarel won't be too angry.
Bon, j'espère qu'on n'aura pas fait d'erreur.
We must speak.
An honor, true soul.
You'll find traders in the entrance hall. Absolute draws coin as well as pilgrims, eh?
Il n'y a pas de téléporteur ici. Ouais. Il faut en trouver un. On pourrait aller là. Ouais, mais on va sauvegarder. Si on va ici, on se fait piéger par les ombres.
I sought to reach a creche and be rid of these tadpoles. Now we stalk forgotten lands haunted by darkness. The Inquisitor must hear of the Sathisk's failure. I'm going to my people at once. If you have any good sense, you will follow.
You consider your options, knowing that should Lae'zel depart alone for the crash, she could fall to the curse.
Damn it all. You may be right. I may be wrong. I hate that it's so.
The disc appears in your mind's eye. Lae'zel sees it too, and considers the vision.
Tirsu markings. Ancient. I recognize them, but I can't make sense of... No. Wait.
The texts are enciphered, but there's a common speech translation beneath, carved in a different hand. It's a story about Orpheus.
Your head buzzes in concert with Lae'zel's, but it hardly matters. Even without the connection, you'd recognize her discomfort.
A traitor. A dead one. This text is heresy. I can hardly bear to read it, let alone speak it. Very well. I will read it to you. The Prince of the Comet, Part 2. The Prince of the Comet, Orpheus himself, led his honor guard into battle. Their red dragons bellowed with righteous anger, and the heavens erupted. The glorious prince cried to all who could hear him, "Praise be to my mother Gith, the queen of the one sky, sacrificed to the hells by the renegade Vlaakith." But the true heir, the Prince of the Comet, could not overcome Vlaakith's knights and their ill-gotten worms. Mighty Voss, Gestil Kithrak, lit the astral sky aflame. When the ash had cleared, beloved Orpheus was gone. True heir, glorious prince, there's no greater crime than to exalt the pretender called Orpheus. Disregard this drivel. Gith declared that Vlaakith should be queen. Orpheus would have ceded control to the Geich. She did nothing of the sort. Thank your good fortunes I'm a tolerant woman, or I'd have sliced off a few toes for suggesting it. Kalir's clutch held 36 eggs, more or less, though I've learned of creches that harbored 100. Humanoid. How I despise the term. Githyanki are quite superior to humans. Though it must be said, you are an uncommonly adequate member of your species. Our biology slates state that Githyanki came to lay eggs after we escaped Illithid enslavement and took to the astral plane. It's an asexual process, a favorable change by any estimation. Hideous to imagine a life where I couldn't partake in the pleasures of sex without the looming threat of bearing children.
J'adore.
Shukiani. Githyanki chosen by Vlaakith herself to bear young. The queen assigns when and where they must lay, and how many eggs they must bear. The Shukiani pass their eggs in the material plane. In the astral, time barely passes. It is a meticulous process, carefully timed so that the eggs hatch at once. Go on then. My own Savage would never have threatened a youngling. A waste of time and energy. The pupils themselves culled the weak from their ranks. I myself felled 4 of my own classmates once Kalir had 100 times circled Tyrell. Not every life is equal. My people have no use for cowards. Every trainee that I slayed was either too weak to withstand the lessons, or was cocky enough to pick a fight they could never win. Their lives were not precious. They were a blight that required expunging. The Githyanki are only as powerful as their weakest warrior. Jaquith de Venzir, the termination of the frail, strengthens us.
Un peu con comme logique, parce qu'il y a toujours un maillon faible.
It is over where I am concerned. It is through conflict that we strengthen our bonds. Yet I do not recommend Shadowheart seek it again. The next resolution may not end in her favor. Mark my words. This power would be no blessing, but a curse. You might as well ask me to gouge out my eyes for the promise of sight, or slice off my tongue for the promise of taste. Consume all the gate tadpoles you wish. I'm not so craven.
Faut que ça passe. Est-ce qu'on va les faire changer d'avis? Oh oui. Oh, elle est têtue.
When the tadpole has stretched to every pore and slithered through every vein, what am I to do then? It won't hear my screams. It won't care if I beg. I will be remade in its image. My faith in Vlaakith will guide me, and my own might will sustain me. I have no need of this depraved power.
Persuasion. Ce culte de l'absolu est dangereux. Nous devons user de tous les atouts à notre disposition. Persuasion, il suffit de me regarder pour comprendre tous les avantages. Je n'ai jamais senti... Je ne m'étais jamais senti aussi puissant. Persuasion, morte. Vous ne serez d'aucune utilité à votre reine. Qu'il soit corrompu ou non, vous aurez besoin de ces nouveaux talents pour être à la hauteur. La dernière me semble plutôt pas mal.
You might be right. The Githyanki have long studied Geich and used what we've learned. The Zaithisk itself was devised from such knowledge. The tadpole is perhaps not just a curse, but a weapon I can twist and mold to my advantage. Very well. I will swallow my disgust and avail myself of the parasite's powers.
Ok. Ouais, donc on peut se TP. On va aller au campement. On va vendre des... On va prendre du matériel qu'on va revendre. On a déjà des choses à revendre. Et on va se TP, on va vendre. Ensuite, j'ai regardé s'il y a moyen d'acheter du matériel supplémentaire.
The Absolute's war drums beat loud in your chest. How may I serve?
My faith protects me.
Don't touch me.
Never a dull moment.
Okay.
Keep your distance, darling.
There's no time to waste.
Plus 1 en armure, hein, c'est toujours bon à prendre. On peut se le permettre. Allez hop.
Slaughter well.
Ouais, blablabla.
I wonder
Allez.
what the next move is.
C'est qui celle qui a l'armure, je crois?
Ignorance breeds madness.
Merde, c'est qui? Merde.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Oh, puis j'arrive pas à m'y retrouver dans ces inventaires là qui sont.
Assume nothing.
Alors, elle est où l'armure?
I'm ready. Whatever it takes.
Ah, elle est là.
Let's try this way.
On va vendre tout notre bazar.
Brothers, sister, pray with me while we wait.
I'm not worried. I never
She gives them to you fully
don't
formed.
bloody feel like it all of a sudden.
Can you hear her?
Indolence breeds madness.
One soul,
Let us have words.
many thoughts, one mind. The Absolute's war drums beat loud in your chest. How may I serve?
No time to dally.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Ok.
Slaughter well.
Alors, comment on peut alléger leur fardeau?
You seek arms. I seek a warrior worthy to bear them. Get moving, will you?
Les deux boucliers, on peut les mettre au campement. Mais on va retourner au campement pour reprendre de l'équipement à vendre.
I'll take this way.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
In my years as the Blade, I've witnessed countless cruelties, faced unimaginable evil. But Thorm, He is made of pure hate. The Sword Coast will rejoice when the bastard's fallen. And lest we forget, we've a devil to rescue. 2 missions, 1 destination. Not in a mere prison cell, certainly. My guess, Thorm will have confined him in the bowels of the tower. The deeper we dig, the closer we get. It's a first. Mazora set me on fiends inside and outside the Hells. She's never ordered a rescue.
Gods. She makes a mockery of everything the Blade stands for. Such an asshole.
Thank you for sticking your neck out for me. I mean it, but I'm not going to celebrate till I'm actually free. Can already feel her scheming. She won't let me go without a fuss. Trust me on this. Not just rot. I'd have to fight. One of those mindless blobs clawing at demons on the front lines of the Blood War. And it means everything to me. I always knew what my future held, and I know I chose right.
He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue.
An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think?
Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you.
The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. It's said that anyone who bathes in the river of blood emerges as one born anew. It's a lot like that, I imagine. I feel the weight of these horns on my head, curling upwards like a mammoth's tusks. I feel these ridges snaking down my neck. Not to mention a few bumps and prongs in unmentionable places. But I haven't seen my reflection just yet. Be my mirror. What do you see? It's because you know the heart lurking under the horns. The people will see a curiosity, maybe even a beast hungry for their souls. But I will slay their monsters, keep them safe, and one day they will see the Blade of Frontiers again. I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious, but once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you.
Persuasion. Vous avez vu comme ces serviteurs de l'absolu sont dangereux. Nous allons avoir besoin de toute l'aide possible. Regardez comme je suis en train de devenir puissant. Pensez à ce que nous pouvons... Ouais. Nous allons faire face à des dangers inconnus, Will, dans des conditions... Ah, peut-être intéressant ça. Bon, voilà, on recharge.
I can't say I'm not curious. But once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you.
Oh, plus rien, un point près. On recommence.
I can't say I'm not curious. But once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you.
Oh merde. Ah, c'est vrai. Il prend le jeu là prend le jet de dés le moins élevé. Quand j'ai vu le 17, je me dis c'est gagné. Et non.
I can't say I'm not curious. But once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you.
Oh, ça va être compliqué vu que là il y a 2 jets de dés et que le jeu prend le jet le plus faible. Ça complique énormément. Il faut faire 2 jets à 15 minimum. Purée.
I can't say I'm not curious.
Non, 14.
But once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling
Voilà,
how
5 et 3, c'est foutu. Oh là là. Tout à l'heure, on va sortir un double échec critique.
I can't say I'm not curious. But once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might.
C'est pas bon. Je sens qu'on va passer un petit moment sur ce jet de dés.
I can't say I'm not curious. But once you've taken a lithid by the talon, I can't say I'm not curious. But once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. Yes, I suppose we should. Though I'm more than a bit wary. Still, I am the frontier's avowed protector. New dangers require new skills to vanquish them. If the tadpole must be my curse, then let the powers it grants me be the Sword Coast's blessing. I will consume what I must to make it so.
Le coffre, il est où? Surtout le coffre moi, qui m'intéresse.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Là, on va pas pouvoir faire plus de commerce qu'auparavant, j'imagine. Auprès du flétri.
Thou walkest alone. On all these harsh nights, thou hast sought no love is no domain of mine, and thus.
Ah, partenaire, c'est ça. J'avais pas bien compris, lol. Ah oui, effectivement. Grande braderie, on a des items qui sont complètement useless. Venez, venez les acheter. Ok. On va se TP. Et on va vendre tout ça. Mais purée, je m'en fous. Je veux pas une discussion. Bougez-vous, quoi.
You did. She gives them to you free. You hear Let us have words.
Many hearts. The Absolute's war drums beat loud in your chest. How may I serve?
What's next, I wonder?
Il est facilement encombré, lui. Hein.
Slaughter well.
Let's get going.
Trop faible encore. Il y a des sorts de niveau encore supérieurs à ça. D'accord. Ok. Bon, je crois qu'on a fait le tour. On va sauvegarder quand même. J'ai pas envie de tout refaire.
Light on my feet.
Je reviens.
You ought to be kinder, you know, to the prisoners, I mean. Any one of them could be elevated to true soul, should they accept the absolute.
Then I shall have to keep them busy praying for mercy from other gods, won't I?
You're mistaken, surely. I am not.
But we've seen, what, 5 true souls sent for an audience?
And not a single one came back down from the tower top. Must have been unworthy.
It is impossible to keep a garment clean down here.
You'll find it all the harder once we're off on the march.
If you think I'm walking all the way to Baldur's Gate without a litter, you don't know me at all.
Oh, of course. Perhaps our prisoners can be your bearers. Fine view from Nuremberg, I expect.
Alors, on est dans un souterrain. Voilà le micro qui se barre. Le micro. Il aime pas Baldur's Gate 3 apparemment lui aussi.
You ought to be kinder, you know. To the prisoners, I mean. Any one of them. All's well here. The cargo from below has already been taken to the docks.
Ok. On va voir ce que c'est.
You're mistaken.
Encore un chargement. Décidément, s'il y a un chargement quasiment à chaque salle. Ouais, bah là c'est protégé.
This feels like it stretch all the way to the Sea of Swords on a clear day.
Lui, je le sens pas.
This ever gets a clear day. I'm afraid you missed the ship, Trousseau, but there'll be another along soon enough. We're already stacking the cargo. Baldur's Gate. The army marches overland, but we sent some friends ahead to smooth the way. Locums need to see hard truth. Take their place in hard design. Or they don't, and we send them to meet the old gods they cling to. Doesn't matter much either way. Nothing of note. Just supplies for the battle ahead. I've already checked it twice over.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Oh bah, c'est plié.
A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated. As you bear down on his mind, you feel a pulse in response. 1,000 pulses, echoing from the nearby crates. Tadpoles. His mind had rejected the knowledge, forced it behind a mental wall. A wall you just took a hammer to.
Worms. Worms in their heads. Worms all over.
Sauvegarder. J'ai pas envie de rater ce jet. Voilà. Heureusement qu'il y a de les sauvegardes dans ce jeu, hein, sinon on serait bloqué depuis très longtemps. Game over, recommence depuis le début. Game over, recommence depuis le début. Game over, recommence depuis le début. Recommence. Non mais là j'ai rien fait, recommence quand même.
1,000 pulses, echoing from the nearby crates. Tadpoles. His mind had rejected the knowledge, forced it behind a mental wall. Oh, and as quickly as you tore down his defenses, you shore them back up. His mind is blank and blissfully ignorant once more.
Oh, true soul. You just missed the ship, but there'll be another one along soon.
Se répète.
Watch the shadows.
Stand clear of the cargo. Respectfully, true soul. They're not to be opened until they reach the city. The Absolute smiles on them that follow orders. And I don't plan on being a guard for long, true soul. Thank you.
Bon, on peut pas toucher aux caisses. D'accord, très bien. Niveau combien? Niveau 8. Mes persos, ils sont quoi? Niveau 7, il me semble. Hein. Ouais, ça va douiller. Ouais, donc faut pas les provoquer. Ouais, il y a des partrouilles. Niveau 8 aussi. Bon, on rentre à l'intérieur.
It is impossible to keep a garment clean down here.
You'll find it all the harder once we're off on the march.
Ça va être sympa ici.
I bloody hope not. These things out I'll never get in.
Only a matter of time till we're served up to the necromancer on a platter. Damn straight.
Let me guess. The Absolute is the only way. Don't bother.
Your conversation has been cut short. These prisoners are for disciple Balthazar's attention only.
Ok. Ça devrait passer le 14. Voilà, ça passe. Tranquillement.
Your association with disciple Balthazar inspires respect and a touch of fear. You are free to speak to the prisoners.
You want to help. The gnomes couple cells down are up to something, and we're in. I can't read bloody minds. Go on, before someone sees. I'll get us out of here, Cal. Even if I need to kill every bastard in this hell pit.
I know. And I'll be right alongside you if it comes to that.
We won't protect you. Not now.
You ordered that guard about as if you were the Absolute herself. What do you want with us, exactly?
Moi, j'ai juste envie de tenter pour m'amuser.
Huh. And why would you be so inclined?
Ouais, on va choisir ça.
Me neither. Nasty little boxes, too often used to quash genius.
I reckon you and I were meant to meet. I'm Wilburn.
We've got a plan, for us and the tieflings both. But we're scuppered without the right equipment.
We need tools. That head case of a warden robbed ours, but anything that breaks rock will do.
Even if it's not Iron Hand quality. Whatever you find, throw it through the bars. But for the love of Gerdel, make sure a guard doesn't see you. Or we're both done for.
Stone. I feel it. Hollow behind the back wall.
Les gardes, ils sont niveau combien?
Beyond.
Niveau 8, il y en a un.
I'd bet my last copper. There's a pier nearby.
On a qu'un seul?
I wonder.
Your feet fly fast, my friend. Any luck with those tools?
Non.
Tools! Something that can crack rock, like a hammer. Without it, we're doomed to rot in this hellspit.
Ok. Je sais pas où je vais récupérer ses outils à lui.
Don't speak to the prisoners. The Absolute forbids it.
Ok. Il n'y a rien d'extraordinaire là pour le moment. Oh la caméra. Tiens, sur le squelette.
I've got a long road ahead. Very well.
Should leave, and soon.
That is the plan, Nichols.
There's something evil here.
You spark of the familiar. Do I know you, true soul? Perhaps not. Your face is rather bland. Regardless, know this. I am the warden. The prisoners are my charges, and I answer to disciple Balthazar himself. Stay on my good side. My, they are letting all sorts become a true soul these days. He is chief advisor to General Ketherick, and one of the Absolute's favored. His necromancy is second only to the General's. It is an honor to serve him.
Sinon, les jets de dés, là, dans les discussions, on les enchaîne.
Your mind swirls with information about the prison. The small levers behind the warden's desk open every cell, while the larger one triggers the alarm. And interesting items confiscated from prisoners lie above the warden's office, just up the ladder.
If you are going to stare, kindly do it elsewhere. As I said, you are free to roam where you wish, but do not speak to the prisoners. Anyone who refutes the Absolute is an enemy of mine, true soul. You would do well to remember that.
J'aime pas trop, elle. J'aime pas trop du tout. Allez. Par curiosité.
Might be bland, but yours, it is now carved into my
J'adore.
memory forever.
Ce qu'il fallait pas faire. Merde, je crois qu'il fait une connerie là.
A pity you're already failing then.
Ouais, effectivement, c'est mal parti, hein. En plus, ouais. Bon. Pas besoin de la torche. Elle est niveau combien, elle, si on veut la trucider? Ouais, 9. Oh.
is a restricted area. Time to explain yourself, or this guard will be
Ça n'a jamais été dit que c'était... À aucun moment ils nous ont dit que c'était un espace restreint. Oh non mais c'est quoi ces conneries? Comment on peut savoir que c'est interdit?
Your conviction is enough. This will be taken no further. Nonetheless, this area remains forbidden. Should you transgress again, your efforts to talk yourself out.
Je sens que ça va mal finir tout ça. Ça va vraiment mal finir. Le problème c'est qu'ils sont trop nombreux. Bon, on les va ailleurs. Voilà la caméra qui est...
Within reach.
A new face. Do as the warden says, when she says, and you'll be fine. Plant one foot in front of the other. Head forward. Back straight. Make them fear you.
C'est dégueulasse. Là, je comprends pas.
Let's see what we have here.
No time to waste.
It was an honor to walk the shadows at your side. A little more inviting here, though, eh?
General Thorm's prayers and preparations must not be disturbed. The rooftop is off limits to everyone.
Even you, Disciple Zrel?
Everyone. Keep watch and ensure that nobody passes. Excellent timing, true soul. The goblins. Tell me how they suffered. No, better yet, show me.
Her mind enters yours abruptly, flickering across your memories in a blaze of excitement. She sees the goblins walking free, and a burning rage fans across your mind like wildfire.
Explain yourself.
Alors, les tueurs étaient du gaspillage, tandis que libres, ils peuvent répondre la parole de l'absolu. Ouais, c'est pas déconnant. Ils n'iront pas loin, laissons la mission se charger d'eux, ça évitera de nettoyer. Ouais, c'est pas con non plus. Ouais. Compris. Ouais. Persuasion. Ouais. Aïe, 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 ça va être compliqué. Échec critique. Ah là là, la loose. Ah, qu'est-ce qu'elle nous dit à la suite à un échec critique?
Ancient and mysterious curse to do what you could do with your own mind. Or a knife. I was hoping you'd be able to help with something more important, but you're only fit to muck out the jail cells.
On recommence.
She sees the goblins walking free, and a burning rage fans across your mind like wildfire.
Explain yourself.
On peut passer à un autre personnage? Ouais, non, on pourra pas. On pourra pas. C'est naze. Hop. On fait un, maintenant on fait un 2. Le prochain c'est quoi? Un 3?
She sees the goblins walking walking free, and a burning rage fans across your mind like wildfire.
Explain yourself. Very pragmatic, but very boring. Let's see if there's anything interesting in this brain of yours.
She parts the folds of your mind again, touching your wants and hopes, tasting them. Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration. She is searching for proof of your faith.
Ça marche pas. Je vais voir ce qu'elle dit. Ah, continue. Je voudrais voir ce qu'elle dit.
Are you trying to impress me with your dalliances? Please. I've lain with everything from an ogre to an ooze. You don't measure up to either. I hope you're a better fighter than you are a lover. I have a mission for you, direct from General Thorn.
Ouais, ça m'intéresse pas.
That's it.
Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration.
Ça suffira pas.
She is searching. Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her
Oh là là, mon dieu. On a vraiment pas de bol sur les jets de dés.
Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her
Ça suffira
exploration.
pas.
She is
Qu'on fasse un 15 au minimum.
Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette.
Et encore.
But there is purpose to her
Ça suffira pas non plus.
Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration.
Oh la loose. Oh, on n'a pas de bol.
Of your Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration.
Oh, 5, c'est pas vrai. Ça fait au moins 5 minutes qu'on est là-dessus.
emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration.
Mais quelle galère. C'est dommage que les temps de chargement soient pas un peu plus courts. Ça aurait été agréable.
Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration.
Non, le jeu veut pas.
Every emotion soaks into her mind's palette. But there is purpose to her exploration. She's proof of your
Ouais, je suis curieux de savoir ce qui va se passer.
You long to be touched. A shame we're preparing for war, or I might find time for you. But all you truly need is the Absolute. I have already been blessed to stand in her presence. It was bliss. She gave me everything I wanted. Why not? What's the point in power if you don't get to have a little fun every now and again? She gave me the power to cut the thread of life with a thought. But I can caress as well as cut. That's why you should stay on my good side. And the best way to do that is to serve General Thorm. I have a mission for you.
That's it. Play along. The closer you can get to the General, the closer you'll be to the answers you seek.
Là encore, j'hésite.
You feel her presence in your head again. She grips your mind, squeezing until your vision blurs with pain.
The General is the Absolute's chosen.
Ouais, c'est pas bon.
Serving him is a
C'est pas ça qu'il fallait choisir.
That's it. Play along.
There is a relic that General Thorm requires. He sent his most trusted advisor, disciple Balthazar, to retrieve it. The relic is beneath the Thorm family mausoleum. That is where you will find Balthazar. But we have lost contact with him. Go there, aid Balthazar if you can, and bring the relic home. Death would not silence Balthazar for long. But dead or alive, he is lost. Whatever has become of him, it is the relic that matters. It is something that General Thorm desires, and that he has ordered us to retrieve.
Ok, bah ça nous fait une belle jambe pour savoir, pour identifier sa fameuse relique.
Nervous, on edge. Talking about the relic makes her anxious.
Oh là là, encore un 18. Non, on va pas y arriver là.
She on edge. Talking about the relic makes her anxious.
Ouais, je pense que j'ai pas le bon personnage. J'aurais dû choisir le vampire.
She's suddenly nervous, on edge. Talking about the relic makes her anxious.
I am in awe of the power the relic must hold to be of such importance. General Thorn will not leave Moonrise without it. And I accompanied him. It was destroyed shortly after he left Moonrise. Hardly a surprise. We're protected here, but outside the shadows are hungry. The shadows around the mausoleum are deep and hungry. You'll need a moon lantern to survive them. Take one from Balthazar's chambers. But don't pry. The last person who snooped into his secrets lost their head. I believe he uses it as a chamber pot.
Ok. On va sauvegarder.
I'll see what I can learn.
It is not your time yet, Blessed One. The rooftop chapel is reserved for the General's private contemplation, save for those he chooses to ascend.
This must be the place. We have to get inside.
I'm sure you have done a great many things to get this far, true soul. But above, you will stand in her very presence. Such an honor requires more.
Her words are diplomatic, but her face betrays her true feelings. Utter contempt for you and all your kind.
Disciple Zrel has given you a chance to earn that honor.
Voilà, succès critique, génial, enfin.
Your tadpole grasps at nothing. She carries no parasite, but you've spent too long reading people not to see what's behind her eyes. Scorn, stark behind her mask of deference.
As you see, true soul, there is so much more for you to learn.
Now what might you be hiding?
Niveau 3, niveau 3. Niveau 8. Là, c'est fermé.
No time for dally.
Là, n'est pas autorisé.
I'd better take a peek.
tower doesn't stink like an overstuffed cemetery. Which means Balthazar hasn't returned.
Ah,
So
c'est
why
elle.
are you
Merde.
here instead of out there looking for him?
Ah, c'est pourri.
It was an honor to walk the shadows at your side. A little more inviting here,
On
though.
a déjà dit tout ça, ça n'a pas évolué. Ah, faut que j'aille dans les quartiers de machin. Bah, j'ai pas réussi à accéder au quartier de machin, j'ai l'impression.
If only. Let's see what we have here. Something's dripping from the rafters. Not sure I want to look up.
Ça doit être en hauteur, j'imagine. Parce que là, il n'y a rien. Pas rien volé. Dommage ça. Non, je veux pas sortir.
A little saliva from the wound. Saving that.
J'ai l'impression que c'est à l'étage. Ouf. Magnifique. Oh là là, la caméra, non mais sérieusement quoi. C'est une plaie cette caméra. Et là, je peux pas passer. Bon, bah, c'est pas ici alors. Pas là non plus. Hein. Non. J'ai l'impression que c'est au niveau inférieur alors. Bonne nuit au moustoir, bonne nuit. De toute façon, vu de là, on va arrêter ici. Et on reprendra demain. Sauvegarder. Allez. Beaucoup de lore là. Pas de combat. Je pense que ça va